Welcome to Pathways to Success at PGCC. And now here's your host, Professor G.
It's me. Greetings and felicitations. I am Professor G. Mark Gray. Welcome to Pathways to Success here at Prince George's Community College, where we give you the freedom to learn as you embark on your best life. And let's talk construction, building things. And you build your lifestyle through the walk here at Prince George's Community Colleges. And one of the pathways is construction technology. So two of the ladies who serve as the builders, if you will, to the construction of this pathway are joining us right now. Bree Cosh is coordinator for construction and skilled trades here at the college. Hi, Bree.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
And a PGCC associate professor, Maya Srinivasan, who joins us right now. Maya, thanks for taking the time. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
Maya, I want to start with you because when you start constructing a professional lifestyle, it begins in the classroom. But this is one of those programs that has to be a balance, it would appear, between inside the class and outside. So can you talk about constructing a path to success at its early stage for people who may be interested in construction and skilled trades?
Sure. I think it's important to understand that there's many disciplines involved in construction. So there's a lot of different ways you can approach a career in construction. At PGCC, I run the programs in construction management, computer-aided design, and we also have a new credit program in building trades that also allows for the skilled trades to come in. So construction is a very multidisciplinary field, and students can approach it from many different angles. I myself am an architect by training, and somehow magically ended up being as an educator in the classroom after many years working in industry.
Oh, and that's big. We're going to come back and talk to how valuable that is for a student. But Bree, to the point of building a strategy to, enter this pathway as a professional and then to move forward, how do you see your role in terms of impacting a student while they're here at the college?
Well, traditional college is not for everyone. So in the trades, we work on vocational education. We teach students to learn by doing. We have hands-on labs. We have traditional classrooms, labs for theory, performance evaluations in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, carpentry. We also offer welding classes, locksmithing classes, and building maintenance classes. So we start the students at the ground level that don't have any training and can take them through the 4 levels.
Interesting that you bring that up because you're talking about trade programs where it would seem that coming right out of school, getting your degree or your certificate is a, pathway to a paycheck. Can you talk about how that works for a little bit, please?
Well, we offer the educational portion because we are community college. Now the students will still have to go out and get the on-the-job training. Once they get a job in their career line, they can apply to DLLR and apply for their apprenticeship card and continue their training with us. So they're learning and employed as an apprentice helper and can go through the field. Entry salaries normally around $15 to $20 or so, and then they can go up the ladder once they complete their 4 levels of education and complete their on-the-job training. They're then at a good salary range around 60-ish, give or take, depending on the trade.
Maya, let's talk for a second. You mentioned earlier about how your trade as a professional is as an architect. How lucrative is that pathway right now? What kind of skill set does somebody need to have in order to succeed, and how do you help them get there?
Just to be clear, PGCC doesn't offer a program in architecture. However, if you're asking about how to train as an architect, typically that involves a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and then several exams to license as an architect. So it's definitely not a path for everyone. That said, at PGCC, we have a program in construction management, which allows people to get into the construction industry even after a 2 year AAS degree. And just so that you have an idea, construction managers are extremely in demand. The growth in this job industry is much faster than average. I think it's projected to grow at about 9%, which is faster than average of all jobs. And entry level salaries can be, I guess, in the 60 to 70,000 ish dollars range per year. But then the median, especially in Maryland, can exceed six figures easily.
I'm gonna throw this out as a bit of a toss up. When you're looking at the perfect student who's interested in this program and what their goals are, what does that look like to each of you? What would you say would be the skill sets that would make a student a viable candidate to succeed after going through this program? Maya, let's start with you.
I would say that you would need someone that is a team player. To me, that is a huge part of working in construction. It is such an interdisciplinary field that it's impossible to be a loner in this field. So you need to be a team player. You need to be up for challenge because there's always something that gets thrown at you. You need to be able to think on your feet. Um, and you need to you need to embrace the fact that you need to get out there and sometimes go to sites and not just be sitting at a desk all the time.
Bree, your thoughts?
I agree with all that, but with the trades, it's showing up on time, which is 15 minutes early. It's a willing to take direction and learn. Being there, doing your job. If you don't know, ask questions. Safety. Those are some of the biggest things, just being there, showing up, and doing your job.
Let's talk about the outer classroom experiences that go along with the academic knowledge. A lot of times in order to get a job, you have to meet people. So can you talk about, the opportunities to network or intern, if you will, so that you gain that professional experience so that you may have a leg up on the competition when you get into, competing for the job? I guess, Bree, let's start with you on that.
Well, I have several employers that reach out to me looking for skilled tradespeople, entry level, all the way to, mechanic level. But they contact us, and we send them, we can't help students. We don't have enough staff to get all the students employed. That would be ideal to have a career center that was dedicated to the trades. What I do is I usually share and tell employers, send me their position bulletin. I share it with the students, with the instructors. My instructors are very involved in the careers outside and also bring jobs to the students for them to apply to. Another thing we used to have before we moved, we would have open houses. So this semester, at least twice a year, we would have an open house where we would invite employers in to set up a station where they could do on-site resume interview type thing.
Maya, how important is that kind of stuff when you're structuring, an academic pathway to this ultimate outcome, to have the internships and the job fairs and things like that, to have that opportunity? How important is that?
Oh, it is very important. There's in the construction management program, for example, most of our faculty are highly experienced professionals in many different areas of the AEC industry that have full-time jobs during the day, and they're just dedicated and love working with students. So they teach, a lot of our classes are held in the evenings for that reason. So they bring that real world experience right to the students in their classrooms. And furthermore, we're also constantly in touch with construction companies in the region. I know the Office of Internships has been pretty diligent about organizing career fairs in this space as well. Another nice thing that we do for our students is that for those who are already employed in the construction space, we allow them to get credit for on the job experiences. So we do allow those internship courses to be counted for college credit. I mean, as we all know, if you can get some credit for what you're doing, setting some learning outcomes on the job, that's a win-win for our students.
Do you find a financial correlation? I mean, this is such a, for lack of a better term, hands-on industry. Uh, do you find that the networking has as big an impact as it does in other careers? You know, just the fact that you get out there and you meet people, they're able to put a face to a name and then give you a platform to show what you can do, so to speak. Uh, are those type of opportunities being created, especially when you're dealing with construction and skilled trades?
I mean, yes, to some extent. I really think those in-person big shebangs don't seem to have picked up in the same way since the pandemic. Pre-COVID, there was a lot of emphasis on getting out there, going to these events, and I don't know how much. A lot of that is also possible virtually these days. But yes, to the extent that you can connect with other individuals, professionals working in the space, that's definitely helpful.
Yeah, and it seems like a student would benefit by having the perfect relationship with you in the classroom, and then Bree kind of coordinating some things for your after you got your I guess academic chops already set. So Bree, can you talk about the potential for somebody if they're I guess aggressive enough to create that kind of platform for themselves? A lot of it has to go on the impetus of the student, quite frankly. But can you explain a pathway that might work so that you can have that bridge from classroom to internship opportunity and then ultimately to a job?
Well, like I mentioned, employers will reach out to me. I can give them a good recommendation, the students. But basically, if they're an entry level for any one of these trades, they just have to be on time, show up, and willing to listen and learn. They will teach you everything you need to know on the job. The trades there's such a shortage, it's high demand. And if you're willing to learn, they will teach you on the job. These are great careers.
So how fast is the track then to the career right now? Because we are in a fast-paced society these days. Professional people are often coming in with expectations for securing the bag at a high level early on. We know that's not necessarily the case, but at the end of the day, how do we expedite that? Is there a pathway for us to enhance that we can, you know, get the grand seal of approval to?
I mean, I get employers calling me every day. We just need to put the interest out there to students. There's an aging job market, and we need to attract the students to reintroduce the trades. It's a great career. You can work with your hands. You're not sitting behind a desk all day. We can help teach you the basics, and we can even teach you through the levels. But you just have to prove yourself on the job.
And is it as stable as it has been in the past? Do you see growing?
Yes, definitely. Stable job, good pay. That's my motto.
So it's a worker's market then for a change, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay. Before we wrap it up, Maya, first steps, if you would. Somebody interested, how do they get into this? Because I think we've identified the pathway from classroom to internship to job. So what's step one?
Well, step one would be to apply to PGCC, and there's so many different directions you could take it. I can offer a little bit of a summary. So for the students straight out of high school, just looking to get into the trades, there are the trades programs that you can get into right away. There's the AAS program that can lead to a 2-year degree. And at the end of 2 years, you could either have a degree in the building trades, or in the building trades, it would take a little bit longer because of the on-the-job training requirements. But you could get a degree in construction management and get entry-level employment as a construction manager. There are also 1-year certificate programs if you can't commit to 2 years of college that you could start with, and that would enable you to obtain entry-level employment as well.
Maya, Srinivasan, and Bree, Cosh, thank you so much for sharing the knowledge with us on the pathways to success in construction and skilled trades. I'm sure a lot of people that come through your pathway are certainly have benefited from your knowledge, and we hope to send you a few more. Thanks a lot for your time, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us on this edition of Pathways to Success at PGCC. I am Mark Gray. Remember, the pathways to your success starts here at Prince George's Community College. Till next time, have a great one.
Thank you for watching Pathways to Success at PGCC. For more information about Pathways at the college, visit our website at www.pgcc.edu.